Good evening and welcome to Travel Witch Radio. I'm Dan Schlossberg along with my friend and executive producer, Roger Noriega. This is our 590th episode. We're in the 14th season of Travel Witch Radio, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair. It's the place where you can scratch anything that itches too.
Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, cruise lines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitality, from authors and bloggers to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travel Witch Radio.
Kristen Guthrie of Visit Fort Wayne. Welcome, Kristen, to Travel Witch Radio.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Well, we're long overdue to do an Indiana show anyway, and I found out so much about Fort Wayne from you when we met at IMM in New York. So thank you for coming, thank you for sharing, and thank you for producing a beautiful booklet on Fort Wayne. You know, I always thought Pittsburgh was known for three rivers, but apparently Fort Wayne is two. Tell us about the St. Mary, St. Joseph, and Maumee rivers and what visitors can find there.
I love that you say that. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so when I moved to Fort Wayne, I thought, no, not another city with three rivers. It must be my thing. But it's great. So Fort Wayne, Indiana, to tell you a little about it, we're the second largest city in Indiana, behind Indianapolis. We're located in the northeast corner of the state, so very close to Ohio to the east, Michigan to the north. And we were settled on three beautiful rivers, smaller and more natural, I would say, than Pittsburgh's, but we have developed along them, built some great attractions, some great parks. We do have a replica of the historic Fort Wayne there that people can visit. And right on the rivers downtown, Headwaters Park is our festival center. So we've really built a great community around those rivers.
And thanks to those rivers, Fort Wayne has miles of water trails and paved connected trails, plus a historic old fort. And isn't there a big summer festival on tap at Headwaters Park?
Yes, it's very cool. Our forefathers built Headwaters Park as a festival site, and every weekend of the summer it's busy. So German Fest, Greek Fest. You might be mentioning the Big Fort Fest, once called the Three Rivers Festival, many days of fun and celebration. Rib Fest, Macaroni and Cheese Fest. It never ends with the fun here in Fort Wayne, and you're right, they're very centered around those rivers, I would say.
Promenade Park is getting even better with the opening of the Summit this summer. Can you tell our viewers what that is?
Promenade Park is really the jewel of downtown Fort Wayne. Built on the river, it has so many exciting and free things for children and families to enjoy. A treetop canopy trail goes along the river, and you're kind of up in the trees. A bouldering mound, a splash pad that's really fun for the kids, of course. And so they're continuing to develop that area, as you mentioned. They're at Promenade Park with more restaurants and attractions and park space and amphitheaters and all the fun things for people to enjoy.
We hear downtown Fort Wayne has 5 different districts, from Riverfront and the Landing to the Broadway Arts District, Convention Center, and Fort Wayne Museum of Art. Can you elaborate a little bit, please?
Yeah, one thing I think is really special and excellent about downtown Fort Wayne is it is a very walkable, very safe downtown, but very full of activity. It's really a great place to visit. So there's 100 restaurants. There's, like you mentioned, a beautiful convention center in the heart of it all, an arts district where you can enjoy art shows and performances. It is a very robust downtown and very enjoyable. And those different districts help people explore where do I go for food? Where do I go for entertainment? And it's all walkable.
Fort Wayne has a rich arts community with sculptures and pieces of art throughout the downtown area. Are more being added this spring?
I'm glad you asked about that. One of the best things in downtown Fort Wayne are all the murals and sculptures that have popped up even over the last few years. Over 100, in fact, and they're huge block-long murals that are breathtaking. And they are really some of the the gems of our arts community. And we do offer a public art trail, a digital pass where people can, check in at different murals and win free prizes. Just another fun way to enjoy the art here in Fort Wayne.
We were talking Fort Wayne, Indiana with Kristen Guthrie.
At Travelage Radio, we love sports, both spectator and participation. Tell us about Parkview Field, home of your minor league team and the various sports tournaments that come to town.
Well, if you know minor league baseball, you know there's going to be a wacky mascot. We're super proud of Johnny Tincap. He is based on Johnny Appleseed. You may know that great piece of folklore. But John Chapman, Johnny Appleseed, came through Fort Wayne on his journeys, and we've really claimed him as our own. So the Tincaps here in Fort Wayne are not just fun, but they have been voted the #1 minor league experience. They've been noted the top 10 ballparks of all size. It's an exceptional world-class facility, world-class experience, but it's really affordable, fun, in keeping with kind of that minor league. It's such a great experience to take your family to a minor league game. So much fun on and off the field. And we're really proud of our beautiful downtown ballpark.
That's cool. I understand you have a benign summer climate. Can Fort Wayne visitors find time for golf, tennis, water sports, and al fresco dining? He's a golf guy.
I can see what you enjoy there. You're right. This time of year, we can't wait for that summer climate. And, Fort Wayne is a really outdoor city. We have over 120 miles of trails that connect parks that have golf courses, pickleball courts, everything you mentioned and more. We're just really eager to get out and enjoy it this time of year, especially.
Fort Wayne International Airport is growing with a $122 million upgrade set for completion this year. Would you please give us the details about that upgrade?
Yeah, one of the things that's going to be unique nationwide is how fully accessible our airport's going to be. It's being built to just be very easy for travel for any needs you may have. So it has cane trails throughout the airport. Everything is fully accessible for wheelchairs and strollers and walkers and whatever your mobility needs are. There's all sorts of options for families to take breaks when they need, quiet rooms. It's been built so thoughtfully to have really the needs of every traveler thought of. And we're just so proud of it. I believe it'll be done next year, but a lot of those things are already in place. And I think it's going to be just one of the nation's most accessible airports when it's done. It's also an international airport, a great service to many cities every day. So we're very appreciative of their work.
That's good stuff. That's good to know.
It is.
History is big in Fort Wayne, where the Allen County Historic Sites Trail features some 75 sites, landmarks, historic homes, and other marks left by local legends. Would you care to share?
Yes. It's fun to explore history. Again, we have another one of these passes where you can kind of check in at the sites and earn prizes. Kids love that. But it's really fun. Fort Wayne was built on a canal system. We have a Native American heritage here. These are things people can learn about as they travel to the current day location and learn what used to be there. We love to help people explore that early history of our community.
Thank you. By the way, we love the name of your old fort. Old Fort.
I know.
When was it built and why?
Maybe not the most creative namers, but Fort Wayne, we have to have a fort. It's very cool. It was the original Miami Indian settlement was at this site where the Three Rivers meet. In 1794, a military post was built there by Mad Anthony Wayne, for whom we are named. Then it was a site in the War of 1812. And when Fort Wayne became a city in 1827, we just really kind of commemorated, like, this is the site of the original fort, and Fort Wayne still loves to celebrate that. They've built a beautiful replica there, and they have a lot of special events, reenactments from kind of all the different periods of history that have taken place there. And it's a special place, and you got to have a fort in Fort Wayne.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned to Travelage Radio now in its 14th great season. That's Dan's word, not mine. With Dan Schlossberg and yours truly, Roger Noriega. Check us out on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. We are talking Fort Wayne, Indiana with Kristen Guthrie.
Kristen, potential visitors interested in your family trees will love your genealogy center. As a fan of Finding Your Roots, the PBS show hosted by Henry Louis Gates, I'd love to hear about your collection of records and artifacts, including passenger lists and even Native American and African American material.
Wow.
Yeah, one of the most special things in Fort Wayne is our genealogy center. It's one of the top 2 in the country, and it's a place where anyone can come completely for free. And you can, wherever you are in your genealogy journey, maybe you're just getting started, maybe you are stuck, you've been working on it for years, maybe you inherited something from Aunt Sylvia and you don't know where to go. Their trained professional genealogists will sit down with you and help you uncover your history. It's amazing. And everyone can learn their family story here totally for free. It's just an awesome thing that we have here in Fort Wayne that is not duplicated. It's a really special place.
Shopping is big in Fort Wayne too, with the Vera Bradley annual outlet sale on tap for later this month. What's that all about?
Okay, guys, I'm telling you what, you're going to have to check it out. If you know Vera Bradley's quilted handbags, luggage, accessories, someone in your life is a Vera Bradley fan. I guarantee it. Vera Bradley's headquartered here in Fort Wayne, one of our great corporate partners. And every year they host an annual outlet sale. It brings 40,000 women from every state all around the world to Fort Wayne, Indiana for deals. So Vera Bradley items will be 50 to 70% off. It's super fun. It's a girlfriend getaway. You see a lot of grandma, mom, daughter, multi-generational women who are getting deals, but they're really having a great time. This year it's April 30th through the 4th, and it's a must enjoy event for shoppers and fans of their wonderful products.
And speaking of Vera Bradley, the Bradley Hotel in downtown Fort Wayne is something special. Isn't it a boutique property that emulates Vera Bradley's designs?
It sure is. The woman who founded Vera Bradley, her name's Barbara Bradley, she just has a beautiful design aesthetic. She's a creative woman, as you might imagine, and she wanted to make her own hotel, and so she did. It's located in downtown Fort Wayne, and it is a special place. It's a very beautiful place, but still affordable. It has a lovely rooftop restaurant, live music, just really special touches, and her design sensibility. And but it's a very affordable place to stay, and really we recommend our guests check it out, especially those fans of the Vera Bradley brand. They'll really enjoy it.
Out-of-towners will also need to eat, and Fort Wayne delivers with everything from diners to hot dog stands, my favorite, plus fine dining as well. Tell us about your culinary scene, especially if it involves any local recipes.
Oh, Fort Wayne, Indiana, being such a great farm country around here, we have the freshest farm to fork is a very real thing here. Meats being that way, of course, produce, and we're very proud of that. There are hundreds of local restaurants that really tout local produce, local, milk and meat and all sorts of items. And it is fun because you do see it on the low end restaurants to the high end, whatever your price point. We've got some special great culinary delights, and we do have 100-year-old Coney Island. That's everybody's historic first stop. You go to the fort and you get your Coney dog at Coney Island, and then we'll find a nice place for dinner for you too.
Sounds good. People who plan ahead should know about Savor Fort Wayne, a food festival we hear is held every January. Tell us more.
That's the best time for foodies to visit for sure. 12 days where over 100 restaurants will put together their 3-course menus at a value price. It's a great week in Fort Wayne. And we all break our resolutions immediately. It's in January every year. But it's a really fun time to check out. Again, high and low end restaurants, everybody participates and kind of rolls out their best menus for guests that time.
And we are talking Fort Wayne, Indiana with Kristen Guthrie.
What special events are on tap for the warm weather months? I know there are assorted festivals and farmers markets, I imagine.
Yes. Like we talked about, the great produce grown so close, so locally, our farmers markets become very lush and wonderful in the summer. Really looking forward to that. And then, like I mentioned, Headwaters Park downtown literally has a different festival every weekend, starting now, going all through to the fall. Kind of ending with our Johnny Appleseed Festival to bring back our hero here, John Chapman. That's a really fun pioneer themed festival, featuring Apple foods and activities and crafts, and it's a great one. So we're always down for a party here, that's for sure.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne prides itself on being a family destination, complete with a children's zoo. Did you hear that, Dan? Celebrating its 60th anniversary this year, and a new habitat for seals and sea lions. I'm sorry, habitat.
Yes,
What's the
habitat.
story? Because I obviously got it wrong.
It's so fun. Fort Wayne Zoo is turning 60 this year, and it was built as a children's zoo, not meaning a petting zoo or a childish zoo, but a zoo where everything is built to be enjoyed from a child's perspective. And a mother of young children, I appreciate that. I don't have to lift them up over a wall. I don't have to, like, where is the lion? It's very, very easy to enjoy with children. Built for children. It's so smart. But at the same time, they do have lions and giraffes and, all the animals you want to see and your kids want to enjoy. This year, they are opening the new Coastal Cove, which will have seals and sea lions and, lots of fun. Those are such fun animals to enjoy. And the zoo also has rides in every part of the zoo. There's a sky ride in the African section. There's a train ride in Australia. There's a carousel in Indonesia. So your kids have something to do and to enjoy. Again, very affordable. And the newest exhibit last year, my favorite, is Red Panda Ridge. If you haven't seen a red panda, you don't know cute. Those are some cute little guys, and we love watching them scamper around. And so they're always adding something new and always putting children first. And that's a beautiful thing.
And speaking of something possibly new, I understand Fort Wayne also has a great science and museum and is building the only planetarium in the region.
Yes, we're very excited. That will open later this summer. Science Central is a great hands-on science center for kids. A wonderful place to take your family. But we're really pleased they're going to open a very large, very special planetarium, and it will be the largest in the region. They're going to have great, of course, sky viewing, but also it's available for special events and, different shows they can do there. We're really looking forward to that, and it's going to be something really special for this region.
Music and art is also important for Fort Wayne residents as well as visitors. Please tell us about the Arts United Center and the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, if you would.
I would love to. On Main Street in downtown Fort Wayne, we have an arts campus that includes many buildings all together. Again, very walkable, very convenient. One is the Arts United Center. It's a performing arts center where our ballet, philharmonic, other organizations perform. It's located right across the street from the courthouse there that you're looking at. And it is currently undergoing renovations again to be more accessible and more enjoyable for all patrons. It's across the street from the Museum of Art. Museum of Art is known for having a international collection of glass art, which is always very beautiful and special to enjoy. If you don't swing your arms around, it is fragile, I'm sure, but we love it and are very proud of our glass collection here in Fort Wayne at the Museum of Art.
Good to know. We'd also like to hear about the Pearl Street Arts Center. What is it and how big is it? That's Dan's question.
Yeah, it's big. It is a great new home for the performing arts, and it's located on an area we call the Landing. The Landing is a place that's a historic street that's full of restaurants, nightlife, and fun things to do. So the Pearl Street Arts Center is really in the heart of it all. And it's really fun to see a show there and then go out and get a drink. Walk over to the Bradley. They're all located in the same district on the Landing. And it's a really great new home for the arts in downtown Fort Wayne.
Thank you. As mentioned, the Fort Wayne Museum of Art has an extensive collection of glass art. So if you would share about the Habitat Galleries International Glass Invitational, which I understand is constantly expanding.
Yes, it's a very special event in the art world, and I hadn't heard of it. But now we have grown to have 7,000 pieces of glass art that they have there at the Museum of
Wow.
Art. And it is really exquisite. And of course, they can then rotate displays based on themes or whatever they like. It's a large collection of cut glass, it's studio glass, it's blown glass, it's just all different areas of that discipline. It's very interesting to see how different artists use glass to tell their stories very differently, and
Yeah.
it's just a really special thing that Fort Wayne has grown and developed, and we're really proud that that's something we're becoming known for and something that glass enthusiasts can come enjoy.
I was surprised to learn that Fort Wayne also has a ballet,
Mhm.
symphony, and theater companies, which some of them date back more than 100 years.
Our forefathers were just very committed to the arts, and they built
Yeah.
that elaborate arts campus that I mentioned. And they developed these very strong organizations that have survived through, difficult times. I'm sure financially for arts organizations over the years. We're the only professional ballet company in Indiana, and they are 100 years old. Tremendous. We have international dancers here all the time, training and performing. A well-known studio here. We have a wonderful Philharmonic and several theater companies. So we're just very rich in the arts and very thankful, I think, for the great support they've had from the community all these years.
Continuing with the 100 years
Yeah.
idea, doesn't the Allen County Courthouse contain a replica of the original historic Fort Wayne?
I think it does. We call it the
Wow.
old fort. You're so creative. There you go. If you step into that courthouse, of course, it's a working courthouse. You don't want to be summoned there, but
Mhm.
any day of the week, we can walk in as guests and you can see a replica fort. You can also see the United States' largest collection of scagliola. It's a type of marble, and that's what our courthouse is furnished by inside, and it's exquisite. So it's green marble and red marble and all these different colors and things. I mean, you've never seen. It's a really special place. So we encourage you to go on your own volition, not to be called there, but to go to enjoy.
Since we're talking about time, as in having some, would you tell us how Fort Wayne got its start? Did it have anything to do with the coming of the railroad, as was the
Yeah.
case in many other Midwest towns?
It's kind of interesting. Just a bit before the railroads, Fort Wayne went all in on the canal system. And people had this idea, this was before the railroads, to build canals to move things where there weren't rivers. And they built the Wabash Erie Canal to connect the Great Lakes to the Ohio River. And Fort Wayne was the highest point on that canal system and was known as the Summit City. And that's why we were established and thriving. And then a few years later, railroads came into being and the canals went out. So we built a railroad next to where the canal was. It was okay, but it's a fun origin story. And Fort Wayne loves that. And so we actually have a replica canal boat on our rivers that does leisure cruises. You can take a ride, and summer nights for $5, you can hop on and take a ride and learn about Fort Wayne's history. And it looks like a historic canal boat. And it's a very cool, I like that part of history is being maintained, because I don't think it's a very commonly known about the canal system that someone thought would be the way we'd travel across country before someone invented a little faster locomotive. But it's a fun part of Fort Wayne history. And that's why actually I mentioned the Landing, the historic street of restaurants is called the Landing, because that's where the canal boats would stop, land, and unload and load their goods. So we have kept that name and that tradition alive as well.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne features affordability, accessibility, and a convenient location, less than 200 miles from Indianapolis, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, and Columbus.
You can't beat that. I mean, that's pretty convenient. I do love that about Fort Wayne. We are able to host conventions and sports groups and guests from all over the Midwest, because it's a very easy city to reach. And we are extremely committed to accessibility. I think we've talked about that a couple of times, but our city wants to be the most accessible city in the country, welcoming to anyone and any needs they may have. And we're continuing to develop and grow that. And so we just continue to welcome people from 200 to 2,000 miles away. We're glad to host visitors as we can.
My wonderful co-host here, Dan, has told me that as a kid, he also remembers a powerful Fort Wayne radio station broadcasting Reds games on AM radio. What was that, Dan? Wow, wow, whoa, whoa, W-O-D-O? What were the call letters?
W-O-W-O.
Is that true, Kristen?
You've got that right. And actually, people who know WOWO, and I think people could hear it all over the country, especially at night. It's still on air, of course. And from my office window, I can see their historic fire escape. And I think they mentioned broadcasting from their famous Fort Wayne fire escape many times, because it's a funny coincidence. I can see it. They've moved their offices, but the fire escape remains. And WOWO is a really sweet part of a lot of people's memory of listening to baseball games many years ago. Still broadcast those Tin Caps games and many more. And we're very proud to be the home of WOWO. You're absolutely right.
That is so cool. Is there anything we haven't asked? I'm sorry, Dan.
No.
Is there anything we haven't asked you that you would like to add?
Boy, we have covered a lot. I would just say, as you're heading through the Midwest with your travels this summer, consider a stop in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It is a great city. I'm very proud to be here and love, enjoy it every day myself. Great place for families for sure. And just really invite others to join us and check out everything going on here.
How do Travel Itch viewers learn more about Fort Wayne, Kristen?
Well, I would suggest they head to visitfortwayne.com and they can learn all they'd like and more. And maybe even sign up to win a getaway to Fort Wayne. We'd love to have you. So check out visitfortwayne.com.
Our guest tonight has been Kristen Guthrie of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thanks, Kristen, for joining us on Travel It Radio.
Thank you so much for having me.
And viewers, before we say goodnight, I just want to remind you that you can get Home Run King, The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. My biography that came out last year is my second Hank Aaron biography, 50 years after the first one. And 2 days ago, we celebrated the 51st anniversary of Hank Aaron becoming the all-time home run king when he broke Babe Ruth's home run record. This hardcover book, by the way, talks about not only Aaron the athlete, but as an advocate of civil rights, a remarkable man, Hank Aaron. And by the way, if you go to Atlanta, make sure you see the Hank Aaron exhibit at the Atlanta History Center. It's only going to be there through July when the All-Star game is going to be played at Truist Park in Atlanta. So once again, Home Run King, The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. And that's me. He's shown a picture of me with Dusty Baker when Dusty was a rookie. Hard to believe. That's me. Roger, while you're open to that page, show him the picture on the upper left. On the upper left, that is me behind Hank Aaron's shoulder at age 25. That's Jimmy Carter, Hank Aaron, the governor of Delaware, and I'm right behind Hank Aaron's shoulder at age 25 in 1973. And that's it for tonight for Travel Itch Radio. Thank you so much to Fort Wayne, Indiana, to Kristen Guthrie, to my co-host Roger Noriega, especially for holding up the book. And next week, we'll have another terrific show. We're going to be talking Corpus Christi, Texas next week. So that'll be interesting too. Make sure you listen. And thank you for joining us tonight. Good night and stay safe.